friends. Hello. It's been a little bit, couple of weeks. Has it been a couple of weeks? Has it been that long? At least a week. Yeah, some things have been happening. We are back in building at school. The kids aren't with us just yet. The Omani government announced, I think, the 29th as their first day in. I'm not looking at my calendar right now. But we've been back in school to prep our classes and do our PD and just prep the year. I'm mentoring in a new partner in the year group, and it's been very, very busy. But just to sweeten the deal, I've also been dealing with my bank account. I don't have the best luck historically with banking internationally. Now, the last time I had a major banking issue was when I was in China. And to be fair, I foresaw it being an issue when I needed to send £10,000 from my British bank account to my Thai hospital from my location in China. Yeah, I knew it was going to be an issue. But what I didn't foresee is me calling them on the phone, telling them this issue, telling them, look, it's going to look like a security thing. It's for this much. It's to these people. Can I please inform you so it doesn't cause a problem? Him saying yes, me being on the phone with them to transfer the money, and as I'm on the phone and I push the button, it just completely locking down my account because they're assuming I've been hacked and stole from. And then having, just a time. Having to go in person to a branch, the closest one of which was a couple of hours away, or at least so I thought, and having to prove who I was, and then the branches not being there because the maps weren't up to date, and finally finding one and it's for advanced customers only, and they don't want to serve me, and I've got an hour till they close because there was a time difference between the line in the UK that could do this and the time that the banks were open in China. And me just like breaking down in the parking lot and them eventually letting me in. I'm just like begging them. That's the kind of, when I have a banking disaster, I do it properly. Yeah, we don't go half measures. Now, it's not quite that bad. That's definitely up there as the worst. But man, it's been a frustrating couple of days on top of all the kind of general work stress. That's why I look like this, by the way. We are the end of the day. It is 6:30 p.m. I've had a full-on day. I'm feeling crusty. So if you watched my last finance update, I am trying to cancel my credit card. There was something minor, which is now like, oh, are you kidding me? I have a credit card through my old bank. My old bank merged with a new bank because they're pulling out of the Middle East. Okay, no problem. When they merged my bank accounts, when the banks merged and I got a new account, they gave me a credit card because I had a credit card with my old account. But it wasn't a like-for-like thing. The credit card, they were going to waive the fee for a year, but it did attract a fee. Now, HSBC, when I complained about this, they said, no, well, since 2019 in our terms and conditions, there is a fee for the HSBC one because they're the bank pulling out of the Middle East. And so, this is a like-for-like product. And if you've watched me in any of my channels, I am this bitch. I pulled out my original documentation and it was like, first thing, no fees for life, And so that was the thing. There was nothing I could do. The merger had started. HSBC weren't willing to cancel the account before it became to a new bank account. So I couldn't do anything. So I called my new bank and they said, okay, you can cancel the card, but there's a 25 Rial fee. And I thought that was a little bit unfair because I didn't actually agree to the terms and services of this account, and I didn't agree to the charge of this account, but they would not waive it. They were not very good in how they dealt with me. I had a bit of a tantrum about it later, and I was like, all right, I will pay the money, but it will be the last thing you ever have from me. Essentially, I was like, I will cut off my nose to spite my face. I will burn down the foundations and salt the earth. Like, we're done. Just because it wasn't so much the charge, which did annoy me, but it was the fact that on the phone, they were like, I was trying to escalate it to the correct team because you do that here. You have to, if you want an exception made of any kind, the people on the ground who answer, you can't do it. So it's pointless getting angry at them because they can't do it. But if you escalate it into the team, exceptions can be made later. And I have to do this with my phone. I have to do it with all my accounts. Actually, I opened another account after this with a different bank, and there was trouble activating it, and they had to do the same thing. They had to escalate it to have someone go and look in instead of doing the standard things. So it's fine, like it's an accepted part of the process, and they just refused. They're like, we're not emailing that. And the person that said they did before lied. There's nothing in the system. So I didn't appreciate that at all, and I'm closing the account. I'm not the only person doing this. Yeah, a lot of the teachers at my school are going in and closing their account. And one of the teachers today went to the branch to try and do this. Because of course, you can't do this online, you have to go to the branch, which is the problem because kids are coming in, we don't want to miss school, but the branches only operate here between 9 and 2 or 8 and 2. And when you work 7:30, 3:30, there just isn't an option. They don't open at weekends. There's nothing you can do about it. One of the teachers went in, and it turns out the terms and conditions for closing are a little bit more than just charging you 25 real. 25 real is about £50, $60 maybe, 65, might be a little bit more, might be as high as 75, but I don't think so. Back in the old days when the exchange rate was better, maybe. What they actually do, and I cannot believe this is true, but this is the standard practice. They say you can close, but then you pay the 25 plus tax, and they put a hold of 1,000 real on your card, because they basically say, we're closing this, you have to settle the account, but I've got nothing on that card, so I have no charges to pay, right? The limit, the credit limit on my card is 1,000 real, so £2,000. And they will put a hold on the whole amount to cover any purchases you might have made that haven't gone through, so that you can't, like, say you're going to close it, charge it up, and then do a runner before the bill comes in, which you couldn't do anyway, because you need, what I'm trying to get is a letter of no objection, because if I change my bank account to a new bank, I have to prove that I'm not indebted to the other bank before they will allow me to pay my salary into the new one, as a security measure to make sure I'm not running out on bills. So I get that, I get needing the letter of no objection. They will put a hold of 1,000 real on my card, £2,000, $2,500, something along those lines, for 45 days. 45 working days, not just 45 days. So I don't keep 1,000 real in my account. When I send my money, I mean, you've seen my budgets. I send my money home, I keep maybe 400 in there, maybe. So I'm gonna have to, I'm too poor to cancel my account. I'm gonna have to wait until I get paid next, put the money, get my salary in there, and then have them hold 1,000 of my 1,300 salary to be able to start the 45 working day process to cancel my account. After 45 working days, they will clear the hold and I will get the money back. That is what I have to do. And I have to go in person to do it. So I have to miss school to do it. And I can't even do it this week because I have to now wait to get paid because all my money's back in the UK. What? This cannot be the proper and correct format that this takes. But apparently it is. However, because I am this bitch, I went into the terms and conditions. I was like, there's got to be something. And in their terms and conditions, it actually says, after it tells you this, it says something to the equivalent of, alternatively, the principal cardholder may bring the bank an acceptable guarantee, which is nice and vague, ensuring the payment of the card account or something like that. So essentially, if I can bring a guarantor, then they, I guess, have the alternative to the 45 days. I don't think they're actually going to do this, regardless of what's in the terms and conditions. But man, am I going to argue it. I'm going to try. So me, in my optimism, I'm not actually optimistic. I don't think it's going to work. But it's more the sheer bloody mindedness of it. It should work because it's in the rules. It probably won't, but I am going to make that point because this is the person I am. I called up their phone line. I'm going to say phone and not helpline because they're really not helpful. And I asked them, hey, could you tell me what an acceptable guarantee is? Like, if I'm going to go and take the paperwork, what do you accept as a guarantee? Like, is it a case of I have to get a letter from my employer saying if she runs out on bills, we will pay you? Because I'm not sure my school would go for that, but I will go and ask HR and say, well, look, you pay my salary. Can you sign this? Because they can withhold my salary if I do something. I'm not leaving the country, so it's not really a danger. They know where I live. I'm on campus. But because they control my salary, maybe I can say, well, look, can you withhold it? And then this. I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know if they'll accept it. I don't know if they do accept it, if the school will go for it. But it's a question I will ask. But the guy on the phone, if I'd asked any of the obvious things, had enough English to do it. Yeah, and was obviously good at he understood the general principle of me wanting to cancel my card and asking something about how it's done, but his English wasn't quite nuanced enough to be able to discuss like minor terms and conditions that probably don't come up a lot. So the long and short of this is I have to go into branch and ask them, because he's like, we cannot guarantee, you'll have to talk to the branch. And I was like, yes, sir, I understand. And I'm absolutely willing to go to the branch, but the branch is between 8 and 2, and I have to take time off work for that. So I don't want to do it twice. I would rather know beforehand so I can take the correct thing with me. And the one piece of useful information he gave me, he says there's one branch that's open until 9 p.m. inside this mall. And so I happen to be going up that way. It's a while away, but I happen to be going up that way on Thursday quite by chance. I'll be a few minutes away from there. And I'm going to go ask that question. I'm not hopeful of it going well because they'll try and insist, no, you have to do 1,000 Riyal in 45 days. But at least in person, I can show them the terms and conditions and be like, this is what this says. I would like to use the alternative. I am the principal card holder. What guarantee do you consider acceptable? I'm not sure it's going to work, but on principle, I'm going to ask because I'm sorry, £2,000 for 45 working days. My salary does not support that, right? Now, fortunately, in terms of this timeline, I do have my bonus coming in next month. So if there was ever going to be a month when I had a little bit extra in my account, this would be the month to do it. And that's probably what we're going to end up doing. But man, it's a pain, and I'm going to have to miss work because I don't have the money in my account now, so I can't start the process because I don't get paid until mid-September. So I'm sure we'll be nice and busy when the possibility of me going actually comes up. And my schedule this time around, I'm either free first thing, which I wouldn't trust being able to get back in time for, or I'm free last thing, which would be too late to get to the bank before it closed. I don't have a lot of free periods during the day, and I certainly wouldn't trust the banking system to be quick. So getting back in time for my lessons might be a bit of a pain, but I will persevere and I will try. There's about 20 teachers on the hook in our WhatsApp group, like, tell us what happens. Like I said, I'm not sure they're going to go for it, but I'm willing to power through. And that's where I am with that, because I cannot believe, I mean, I know it's just a way to discourage people from cancelling, but they offer this card to people who earn over a certain amount of salary. And a lot of the time, people who earn over that certain amount of salary tend to be the expats that come in because their salary has to be internationally competitive. So the thing with that is expats leave the country, their contract's finished. So that means everybody has to go through this absolute palaver And when you leave the country, that letter of no contest, no objection certificate, they have to show before they will allow you to leave the airport. You don't take it to the airport, but when you get like your exit and all the rest of it, that's one of the pieces of paper that allows you to be released from the country. So if anyone just forgets to cancel their card, they ain't leaving. It's just ridiculous. And there appears to be no way to shorten this. So I doubt anyone's gone in and been like, by the way, terms and conditions, which is why I don't think it's going to work. But I've got to figure out what they mean by that. Because if they're saying it, I want it explained, which I'm sure is going to be an ever so fun afternoon in the bank. I will ask the question, but that's what I'm doing. I realize I haven't been very active on the other channel. I was just so busy this week and so tired. I haven't really had the mind frame for her nonsense. I will get back to it at some point, but you may have to be a little bit patient with me just while I'm getting the term set up. It's just a really busy time and a little bit stressful. So I haven't quite had the patience I need to be able to take her seriously in any way. But there we are. Thank you very much. I will finish my ranting here and I'll keep you updated on what's happening. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.